Hi, I'm Lesley Logan, and today we're doing leg springs here on the Cadillac. So there's two ways to use leg springs, by the way. You can use the arm springs as leg springs. You just switch them and bring them over here and switch out the handles and the straps. If you're really petite, you can do your leg springs here with the arm springs. So by petite, I mean like under 5'3". This angle might be better for you than this one. Okay, but I'm going to show you guys with the heavy leg springs on the leg spring setting over here. So I used to do the arm springs, and sometimes in my practice, I need the arm springs as leg springs. So again, just move them over. You know your body, and you want to feel like the springs are feeding into your center and not like overtaking you, right? So when you're new, you kind of set up about a hand's distance away from the edge. And as you get more advanced, you work your way away from the edge, and you place your feet in your loops. And so your hands are going to be on the poles, unless you've got some sort of shoulder injury, and then it's going to be really tricky. You're going to be way back here. I really prefer, even for myself, to be a little bit right on here, because then I can stand in my arms from my back and help connect my back to the mat. So you try not to start just like hanging out down here. Find yourself in a position like a frog. You should feel the back of your legs already working. And you frog out to set up for the first exercise, which is circles. And these are not like, let me make the biggest circles in the world. You make the biggest circles that you can keep your tailbone on the mat, right? We don't need to lift our hips up and down. That would be the springs controlling us. And there is leg springs in the air, aka magician, which I have filmed for you. But what we're trying to do is just really keep our heart on the mat, that space between your shoulder blades, your low ribs, and your sacrum, and circle about 5 in each direction. Then you pull in. So you get a moment to pull in, regather yourself, and you go out and you go for a walk. And it's one step, then the next step, then the next step, and the next step. And then the last step, you're off-centered, right? So then that leg goes first, and then the other leg, and you walk up, and you walk down. Now, some things people do is this little like scissor thing. That's not controlled, actually. So it's one leg and then the other leg. It will burn more if you do it this way. And you do about 3 sets of those, and you bend in. And you can go into bicycles. So with bicycles, it's not about your knees coming over your face. You're really trying to use the back of your legs to pull your foot to your seat. Right? And I don't want the spring to do it, because see, I can touch my butt with my foot, but I have no tension there. So I'm only bending my foot into my seat as much as I can keep the back of my leg on, and then you'll reverse. And so yes, your goal is to scrape the mat with your feet, right? You put your legs together and you frog it. Then you do beats. So your legs go out to the high diagonal, and you do 8 quick beats, out and in, out and in, out and in, without the springs bouncing. Then you hold it for 8 counts. You lower the legs and you do 8 more. Then you hold it for 8. You try to lower and do 8 more. And then hold it for 8. And you can do little tiny circles here. These really burn. And then you bend in. Before I show you the last variations, and I want to talk about, you don't have to do the beats at 3 levels. You might do 1 level for 3 sets, okay? But the open, close fast without these shaking back and forth is the challenge that you're trying to get, so that the actual opening and closing of the springs is happening here in your center and not just like a leg thing, right? And then the little circles, my teacher Jay, you could do both. You could do where the circles touch, right? The feet touch each time, or they stay a little bit apart and do the circles. And they're tiny and they're fast. Now, the 6-point frog, you want to place your feet down where your hamstrings are working, and then slide your legs along the mat, open, lift the legs, close them, and bend in. What a lot of people do is they just drop their feet down. Nothing is working here. Even my abs are out. Then they slide the legs out. We don't want that. So Place the feet down from the back side of your legs from your center. Slide out and get longer in your waist. Open the legs, lift them, close, and bend in. And you can do the reverse. Out, open, down, close, drag in, pull your knees into your chest from your center. Reach out, open, down, close, drag, pull it in. Now, there's another little fancier way to do this. So you can place the feet down, reach out, open, and slightly lift the pelvis with your legs, bring it in, and as you bend your knees and you roll down. And so you're kind of watercolor painting this exercise, but I'm staying in control of the springs the whole time, right? You can lift, reach out, hips are up a little bit, lower together, and pull it in. What you don't want to do is get too obsessed, like drawing a box, right? I think it's really easy in Pilates to get a little overly obsessed with like, okay, hit this point, and I hit this point, and then I hit this point, and I hit this point. You know, but I also don't want you to go the other way where you just are like, whee! So there's somewhere in between, right? So each rep, challenge yourself to see what your new edge is rather than I'm going to stay in this tiny box. You get to kind of see if you can push your boundaries each time. All right. Every single version of those exercises, you can do 5 to 8, maybe 3 sets of each direction. You don't have to, except for the beats, those are 8. You don't have to do 5 of this every single time. Like sometimes I do 5 circles, sometimes I do 3 circles. You really just want to stay connected and get really good quality out of that. Again, make it easier by scooting back or using arm springs. Make it harder by scooting out. If you have a really, really super strong, long, athletic dude, you can actually move them pretty far out and challenge them with straighter arms. Just make sure that they're not in their shoulders, right? You want to keep them in their back. Okay, I'm Lesley Logan. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to hear how you feel this in your body. And make sure you put your comments below. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time.